It is not often that the future king allows the world a glimpse into his private heart. Yet, in a rare and profoundly human moment, Prince William has shared a story that moved even the most stoic royal observers to silence. Behind the regal composure, the military posture, and the weight of duty, there lies a father, a husband, and a man who has known the quiet, aching sorrow of loss. During his appearance on Eugene Levy's Apple TV Plus series, The Reluctant Traveller, the Prince of Wales offered a surprisingly emotional reflection on a beloved companion who once filled the royal home with joy and warmth, a loyal friend who stood beside the family through the happiest and hardest years of their lives. That companion was Lupo, the family's cherished black cocker spaniel. William's tone shifted as he spoke of the moment that changed everything. Orla is actually the niece of our other dog, Lupo, who sadly we lost in lockdown. The weight in his voice said what words could not. It wasn't a rehearsed line or a calculated anecdote, it was an unguarded truth, a father remembering a friend who had quietly anchored his young family during years of chaos, transition, and public pressure. For nearly a decade, Lupo had been the heartbeat of the Wales household. Gifted to William and Catherine in 2011 by James Middleton, Kate's brother, the lively spaniel joined the couple just months after their wedding. Through moves from Anglesey to Kensington Palace, through the birth of their children, George, Charlotte, and Louis, and through the private storms of royal duty, Lupo was always there. He appeared in official portraits, padding at the couple's feet as newborn Prince George gurgled in his mother's arms. He became, as William later described, part of the rhythm of our home. To the public, he was a charming addition, to the family, he was simply family. When the time came for Lupo to cross the final threshold in November 2020, the family was together, confined at home during the pandemic, facing the quiet loneliness that touched households across the globe. Yeah, we were all there sadly, William told Levi. It was very sad. The simplicity of the words cut deeper than any royal statement. It was the voice of a man recalling a goodbye. For the children, especially young George and Charlotte, it was their first encounter with mortality, an early lesson in the fragility of life and the constancy of love. The prince and princess made the difficult choice to include them in those final moments, believing, as Catherine has often said, that children should be allowed to understand life in its whole circle. Soon after, the couple issued a public message that broke from their usual reserve. Very sadly, last weekend our dear dog, Lupo, passed away. He has been at the heart of our family for the past 9 years, and we will miss him so much. It was more than a statement, it was a love letter. For William, who has endured loss from his earliest years, from the death of his mother, Princess Diana, to the public dissection of every private grief that followed, this moment was different. This was a loss he could mourn openly, without politics or press intrusion, a simple grief that every family could understand. Eugene Levi, ever gentle, asked the question that lingered in every viewer's mind: were you there when it happened? William nodded, his voice quiet but steady. Yeah, we were all there sadly. It was very sad. That repetition, very sad, carried all the heaviness that royal decorum usually hides. The story didn't end there. Life, as it always does, found a way to bring new light. The following year, a small cocker spaniel puppy arrived at Adelaide Cottage, Orla, a gift from James Middleton, the same brother who had first given them Lupo. But this time, the connection ran even deeper. Orla was Lupo's niece, a living link to the companion they had lost. It was, as one palace insider put it, a beautiful continuation, not a replacement, but a renewal. Orla quickly became part of the family's daily rhythm, joining them on school runs, woodland walks, and quiet afternoons in Windsor. In photographs, she often appears curled at the children's feet, or bounding beside William and Kate in the countryside. And recently, she brought the story full circle by welcoming her own litter of puppies, a new generation descended from Lupo's line. One of those tender family moments was immortalized in a portrait released for Prince William's 43rd birthday. The future king, smiling softly, sits surrounded by his children and by Orla and her puppies, nestled protectively at his side. The image, warm and natural, radiated the quiet joy of a man who has learned to treasure the simple, fleeting miracles of ordinary life. It's rare for the public to see this side of Prince William, the sentimental one, the man who chokes up over a dog, who sits with his children through tears, who allows the world a glimpse of unguarded emotion. But perhaps that's what makes this moment so powerful. It's not about grandeur or duty. It's about the humanity that endures beneath the weight of the crown. Behind every polished royal portrait are small domestic truths, muddy paw prints on palace floors, bedtime routines interrupted by barking, children giggling as the dog steals sandwiches from the picnic basket. For all the pomp of monarchy, it's these fragments, the laughter, the loss, the love, that reveal who they truly are. And in that sense, William's revelation wasn't just about a pet. It was a confession about how grief shapes even those born to power. It was about how, in the stillness of family life, the prince finds his truest self, not in gilded halls, but in quiet moments shared with those he loves most. Royal watchers have long noted how William's relationship with his animals reflects the values he hopes to pass to his children: compassion, loyalty, and gentleness. They learn through how you love, a close friend once said. When they see William with the dogs, they see a man who values care over command. That empathy is also reflected in Princess Kate's relationship with animals, a warmth inherited from her own upbringing in the English countryside. She has often spoken about the calm energy that dogs bring into a home and how being outdoors, surrounded by nature and animals, helps children develop empathy and confidence. When Orla gave birth to her litter, Catherine reportedly encouraged the children to help feed and care for the pups, turning the experience into a family project, a small, joyful ritual of nurturing after a period of loss. It's this blend of love, continuity, and renewal that defines the Wales family today. Through their pets, their parenting, and their quiet acts of togetherness, they model a monarchy that feels profoundly human, one where vulnerability isn't weakness, and love isn't hidden behind ceremony. Lupo's memory still lingers in their home, in framed photos, in stories told at bedtime, and in the gentle way the children now speak to Orla, knowing she carries part of their first dog's spirit within her. For the Prince and Princess of Wales, the lesson is eternal: grief is real, but so is renewal. In the end, this story isn't about loss alone. It's about the unbroken thread of affection that ties every generation, human and canine alike, together. As the future king quietly reflected on Lupo's passing, he offered the world a reminder of something beautifully ordinary: that even those born into crowns feel the same ache when love is gone, and the same gratitude when it returns. And in that shared emotion, that flicker of universal humanity, perhaps the monarchy finds its deepest truth.